What's going on? What's happening today, everyone? How we doing? I hope we're keeping safe. So, a very quick one this evening. I was just thinking about a lot of things, I was just going, having my me time, reviewing a couple things, thinking about life, as well as adding a couple, beneficial lessons to myself, and something came to me. Most of us allow concern to instigate depression in our lives, when concern should drive us into action and not a depressive state. Now, if you find that concerns or problems or anything of any sort is driving you into depression, a common saying, please seek help. There's no shame in that. Seek help. Talk to a professional whose job it is to help you iron out those type of issues. But for the purpose of this video, I find that most times so many of us exhibit behaviors driven by our concerns, driven by fear. The fear of our concerns becoming our reality, instead of allowing our concerns to drive us into actions that would help us understand what our concerns are first of all, looking at how we could deal with them, and then taking the necessary steps to ensure that we combat those concerns. Mind you, most of them are concerns. They may never materialize. Some will, while some will. Some of the concerns will. But there's a probability that it might or it might not. However, we have the tendency to allow our concerns engineer fear into us. And that fear becomes the captain of our lives, the way we do things. It governs us, it drives us, it leads us, it now owns us. And as a result, we respond and react to things from a place of fear as opposed to reason. It so much owns us most times that we even let go, we relinquish the knowledge that we have to combat that fear, the concerns that we have. We relinquish it. We relinquish our freedom, our liberty. We relinquish all of our being to concern, which then births fear that would then control and commandeer our lives, our decisions, and the things that we do. Therefore, the sort of outcomes that we would also get as a result of our ways. Concerns should drive us to actions that would help validate what our concerns are, understand what they are, substantiate whether there's truth or not in them, the probability of them actually occurring, what it is that we are concerned about. Concerns should drive us to action and not into a depressive state. And most of us do not even give time and thought to the things that actually controls our lives, to how we actually lead our lives. Hence, these things over a long period of time becomes you without you realizing it. I've had conversation with people that ends up in heated arguments, but only for us to arrive at a place of understanding and identify that, hold on, the whole thing we've been talking about was never actually going in, let alone flying away from the other ear. And that's why I also wish to point out something I will address in another video. Communication, effective communication is important. Now, whilst most of us deal with our concerns silently, discreetly, in isolation, It isn't often the case, because when you become a product of your concerns and therefore fearful for reasons or no reasons, right? On the off chance, then it starts to trickle into how you perceive things, how you respond to things, the way you behave, the way you conduct yourself, your interpretation of things. So I actually want to just say to all my rare men and the ladies who listen to my content, let your concerns be a driver for an action that would go to get to the root cause of your concerns. From a place of reason, identify them and set action plans, or know what to do, how to tackle and combat those concerns that you have, rather than allowing your concerns to clone you, to own you, to take over you, to take charge of you. That is why sometimes you will sit across people and you say certain things that triggers a certain concern or certain fear or certain traumatic experiences that they've had. Instead of them to hear what you're saying, they hear something else from the echo chamber of fear rather than reason and the actual words coming out of your mouth. That is why when people say critical things, constructively critical things to people of that manner, they will not interpret it correctly. They will not see the opportunity in that as a way to become better. They see it as a direct attack to them. They see it as a way of telling them that they are less than, when they have been the ones allowing themselves to convince them. They've become enslaved to their thoughts, their concerns, their fears and worries, without identifying what is going on with them. Therefore, it expands and permeates across everything that they do in their lives. Concern, worry, fear, and for the most part, it's not even good for your health. Majority of the things that we worry about, majority of the things that we allow to develop fear, which then becomes magnified and as a result causes stress in our lives, go on to actually have detrimental health impacts, emotional health, physical health impacts. Most of the things that we suffer health-wise are not arbitrary. They are given birth to by the fear, by the trauma, by the worry, by the things that we allow to consume us. We always want to make sense of everything. We always want to, attach meaning to everything. And I understand why it's important. I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But for what you do not understand, that creates concern in you, try and go back to the place of reason to try and understand what you're dealing with. When you understand what you're dealing with, then you can actually draw out an action plan on how you can address it. If you can't, you will know where to solicit for help or assistance. You will know what is required from you, and as well as you will know what it requires of you, what is required of you to address that concern. That way, you save yourself from worry, from fear, and from so many things that could leave you traumatized. Anyways, I'm having a nice evening today, and I just decided to come on here and share this. I hope that you all receive it with an open mind, and I don't want you to consume the things that I say just for the sake of it. I challenge you to think about these things. I am actually doing this so that most of my content and talking points are like triggers that would actually draw you into that place of thought, into that place of reason, that would actually grab your attention in this day of short attention span, right? that will grab your attention to think about the things that you do, because we do not want to think anymore these days. We just want to have the microwave ready-made answers to things. Concern, oh, what's the quick fix? Without thinking. There are so many mistakes and errors that could come as a result of such ways of doing things. Let us think, gentlemen, ladies. Reason is immortal. All else mortal. Reason is immortal. From time immemorial, it has been, because it guides you, for one, to make the right decisions, the correct decisions for yourself, for your life, and as a result, for the things around you. Reason, reason, reason. It's a very rare quality. A quality of the responsible, accountable, intelligent, and rational persons. Concern should drive you to action and not depression. I care. I love you all. Until the next one, stay rare.